Number 6 signs. Demonstrate consistency. A clear sign of intellectual honesty or dishonesty rather is when someone extensively relies on double standards. Typically, an excessively high standard is applied to the perceived opponents, while a very low standard is applied to the ideologous allies. Now, why do we need to demonstrate consistency, class? In order for us to have intellectual honesty. Because if we are not consistent with our statement, we became dishonest. We became a liar. Because if I am your attorney, I will be asking certain questions. And while answering, it seems that you are not consistent with your answer. So meaning to say, you're hiding something. You're not telling the truth. So therefore, you are intellectually dishonest. So it's not already a good idea that this sign will be practiced. We need to be consistent all the time. Okay? We need to be consistent all the time so that we can say that we are intellectually honest. Do you get it? All right. Now let's proceed to the number 7 signs of intellectual honesty. Address the argument instead of attacking the person making the argument. What does it mean? Ad hominem arguments are a clear sign of intellectual dishonesty. However, oftentimes, the dishonesty is more subtle. For example, someone might make a token effort at debunking an argument and then turn significant attention to the person making the argument, relying on stereotypes, guilt by association, and innocent sounding gotcha questions. So, with this, addressing the argument instead of attacking the person making the argument is a good idea because with this, we are honest. Now, most of the time, as per my experience, there are people who try to yung tawag na gatong, ginagatungan pa. So they are not helping the person that is sharing his opinion or answer. Instead, they are attacking the person personally, nagapamersonal. So, with this, it's very difficult for a person to practice honesty among themselves. So, I encourage each one of you, class, to please help one another. Instead of attacking, help your classmates instead or your teachers to enlighten more or to uh, improve or to give a good idea in a certain topic that we are discussing. That's why I am encouraging you to share your opinions, your suggestions, clarifications, because this may help. Because we teachers are also learning from you. You students are learning from us. So there will be an exchange of ideas. So, again, in order for you to become intellectually honest, we need to help one another instead of attacking the person, the one, or the person, the one who is making an argument. Let's proceed to the number 8 signs. When addressing an argument, do not misrepresent it. Okay. A common tactic of the intellectually dishonest is to portray their opponent's argument in straw man terms. In politics, this is called spin. Typically, such tactics eschew quoting the person in context, but instead on relying the heavily output of context quote, paraphrasing, and impression, when addressing an argument, one should show signs of having made a serious effort to first understand the argument and then accurately represent it in its strongest form. But what is happening nowadays? People are misrepresenting ideas. People are misleading people. That's why instead of telling the truth, they keep the idea within them. That's why people encounter miserabilities in life. So we are not honest anymore. So we need to present the argument or the idea correctly. Do not mislead. That's why I am so disappointed with uh, attorneys or judges because their work or their job description is to correct the wrong and to make the wrong or the to make the correct statement wrong because they are paid for it. That is their work. Now, they are now misrepresenting people. Instead of helping, they are killing people. Number 9, show a commitment to critical thinking. Most of us nowadays are not committed anymore. Actually, we don't think. Hindi nag-iisip. Ewan ko ba kung sino sa inyo ang hindi nag-iisip critically. So you are encouraged to commit yourselves to think critically. Sabi nga, bago mo gawin, makapito mong isipin. So we will not decide immediately by not thinking it critically. So that will be your commitment as angelic students and as future researchers and professional individuals. Number 10, which is the last, signs of intellectually honest. Be willing to publicly acknowledge when a point or criticism is good. If someone is unable or unwilling to admit when their opponent raises a good point or makes a good criticism, it demonstrates an unwillingness to participate in the give and take that characterizes an honest exchange. So why do we need to acknowledge criticism, whether it is good or bad? Because sometimes criticism can can uh, can make ourselves realize something. It's also a wake up call that we need to do something more because we are being criticized of something, because there are some lacking part or missing piece in ourselves that we miss to portray. So therefore, we need to acknowledge a point or criticism, whether it is good or bad. All right? So, in short, willingness. We always have willingness among ourselves. It's because if we are not willing, then we are not ready to learn all the time. Because learning process is a continuous process. We learn until the end.